Welcome. We got another one here for you. The Stay Black interview. We got a special guest for you today. Goes by the name of
Marcus Grayter.
Marcus Grayter, man. You know, you got your boy here, Scam Guy. Swipe. Queen Hive, we here for you. When you like, I like to get straight to it, man. What we got going on straight now is a marketing program, right?
Yeah. I got a marketing company. It's called Grayter Marketing. And what I do is I just help people start a marketing company online. Help monetize whatever gifts it is that they might have, but don't really know how to monetize it, and maybe they're tired of working for other people.
Okay.
Like I was.
Okay, so this is for like entrepreneurs.
Yeah, absolutely. at the end of the day, it's what I promote is wellness. I promote mental wellness, dietary wellness, and financial wellness. And this is just one of those facets. Financial wellness is how I like to, kind of market myself online. Monetize my efforts. But whatever efforts you have, product, good, service, we can help you monetize that online. That's where everything's going anyway.
For sure. Okay, all right. And when did this start?
All right, so it actually started a few months ago.
Okay.
Where I saw something, and it started about maybe 8 months ago, to be quite honest with you, when I got fired. I got fired from my job. I was the director of sales at a finance company, and I got fired. And I had never been fired before, so I was like, I actually got like a little severance, which would last me months. So I was like, what would I do if I had time for myself? Like, as an adult, I've never had time for myself. Like, at 18, you go to school full time, you work full time. After that, you probably work full time for the rest of your life. So you don't really have time to sit and think to yourself. And you mature so rapidly. Like, I feel like every 3 or 4 years, I'm a completely different person. Like, what I do is the same, but my thoughts and things that have matured so much more. And at this point, having time to yourself wasn't like having time to yourself when you're 17, but that's the last time I actually had time to myself. So at that point, I kind of reevaluated what it is that I wanted to do, the skills that I was giving other people on a daily basis. What skills could I give myself? So it really went through, first, it was just a learning process. At first, I went through a fast, because first it was dietary. So, because I realized I had been drinking every day probably since 18. Like, not every day, but if it was 7 days in a week, then I would drink at least 5 days out of the week. You know what I'm saying? And at first, it just started hurting to the point where your body can't keep that up. You know what I'm saying? So I just decided, I was like, why do I even do that? And I was like, well, what if I stopped that? And this guy that was living upstairs in my building, he was always talking to me about fasting and what it could do for you. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I'll decide to do that. And when I'm fasting, that it made me think almost totally differently. So I started to study a lot of things. Like, YouTube became my best friend, as far as learning things. And all I would look up is, different dietary things, like how my diet was so much different than it is now. I stopped being a slave to my own cravings and things of that nature, but that was for more than just food, is what a fast made me realize. So at that point, that's kind of how this journey began. So it definitely started with the dietary.
I bet. Well, look, that sounds good. It sounds like, you're onto a new path. You're going to help some niggas out, get on their journey.
Look, that's exactly who I want to help out.
Okay.
A lot of times we need it the most. And first of all, in our culture and our society, mental health is something that is not, like, let's say if somebody says you go to the dentist. Okay, cool. When you coming back to work? Like, it's not a thought whether you're crazy or nothing like that. If you say, oh, where you going? I got a doctor's appointment, but I'm blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Now, as a black person, you tell another black person, what are you doing? I'm going to my therapist, and then I'm coming back to work. And he's like, oh, you crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, why I got to be all that? Like, to the point where if you're in a relationship, I notice some people go to marriage counseling and ain't nothing wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's becoming more normal. It's like, well, if you can do that with another person, why can't you do that with yourself? So that's what it's not you actually going to a therapist, but if you need to, go. But I mean, you can actually counsel yourself in the way that you kind of talk to yourself. Like, I realized I was in an abusive relationship with myself, right? And I'm gonna tell you what I mean by that. Like, so you know how in an abusive relationship with a girl, it's like you'll see the male maybe physically abuse the female, but you tell her you love her. I was physically abusing my own body. Like, I was putting crazy stuff in my body, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I tell me I love me, but how am I showing me that? You know what I'm saying? I eat anything I wanted. I ate, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though I don't eat it, bacon is still in one of my top 5 foods today. I know it tastes good. It's awesome. There's nothing better than a good strip of pork bacon.
That part.
But at the end of the day, I don't eat it. I can't do that. My body ain't supposed to run on that. So I can't put it in my body. You know what I'm saying? So it's things that spark that, but it's not just what you do, it's why you do it.
Right.
So I noticed why I was putting certain types of garbage in my body, and I started to correct that. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you can't really, if you're so convinced that everything you do is right, you can't improve. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong? If ain't nothing wrong, how can you improve? So you first have to be honest and tell yourself, well, what's wrong? And that's where the mental part come in.
That part. Hey, you hear the man? He sound like he know what he talking about. Hit him up. Where can they contact you at?
Well, we actually have a website, graytermarketing.com. That's Grayter, just because it's a play on my last name. Marketing.com. Or on Facebook, just go to Marcus Grayter and find me there. Send me a message, and we can go from there.
Okay. All right, now I ain't seen you in a minute. You know you the homie.
Right.
How was the holidays, my dog?
Man, the holidays were fantastic. You know what I'm saying? I use the holidays as, time to reflect, things of that nature. Like, the holidays used to be something I absolutely hated. Like, if I could go on vacation and skip every holiday, I mean, Thanksgiving, Christmas, I would. Like, like, I ain't like nothing about the holidays, like, as an adult. And I think maybe that happened, like, after my mom passed away when I was 17. I just didn't like the holidays, no holiday at all. Until recently, probably this year, I learned to appreciate Christmas. Like, this is the first time I appreciated Christmas. I appreciated my family, things of that nature. Not to say I don't usually appreciate them, but appreciate the holiday for what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell you like 20 things wrong with every holiday, but at the same time, what does it do well for us? It puts you in contact with people that maybe you don't contact enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of forces you to be around the people that you should, even if you ain't around them enough. You know what I'm saying? That's what it did for me. That's how I appreciated it.
That part. Well, all right. So we're going to switch it up a little bit.
All right.
Now, I know you used to be on your comedy shit. Are you still on your comedy shit?
I mean, at the end of the day, everything I say is not, people have thought I was joking for years. It's just my tweak on looking at something. So, I mean, some people think it's funny. I think it's funny for the most part. I'm going to always be funny. You know what I'm saying? I never stopped the comedy thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. No. One time, nigga, you had jokes and everything, nigga.
I still got that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I still got that. If somebody toss one, it's coming back. It's coming back quick. A joke coming back quick, baby. But at the end of the day, there are different ways to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could choose to be a stand-up comedian. I could write. I mean, these are things I've actually tried.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe I didn't try to do. I did stand up once or twice, maybe somewhere free, like a little club downtown, like Bottoms Up Pizza had an open mic, whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen people do that.
But at the same time, I realized I wasn't studying like now that I realize what I know now. I just wasn't studying it like I was supposed to. Like, even if I wanted to do comedy, I should have been on the comedy scene. I should have been being around that, like, the comedy clubs, people who do comedy locally, join some Facebook groups, whatever. Like, I just wasn't doing it enough of that. And at the end of the day, if that's what you want to do with your interest, because you only have a certain amount of time. Now, with my time, I'd rather monetize it a different way. So that's why I just kind of left it alone. But I never stopped being funny.
Okay. So who's like your top 5 comedians that you fuck with?
I don't know if I can put them in order, but they go. Bernie Mac would be in there.
Okay.
Chris Tucker would be in there. Just because of his movies. Mike Epps would be in there just because of his stand-up. I absolutely hate Mike Epps in movies, but his stand-up, bruh, is hilarious. Stand-up, we gonna go. I'm gonna give one of them slots to Cat Williams because he is, right? He's funny. And then if I go back to acting, who's funny? You know what? I'm gonna give this slot to a white dude. It's Alec Baldwin. Did you ask me? Did they have to be black?
No, they don't have to be black.
Yo,
you gave us enough credit.
Yo, Alec Baldwin is in my top 5, and I know that might be weird, but like the type of comedy, bruh, that dude is hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like his type. Like I understand he is not the funniest by far, but like his type, like he's got to be in my top 5.
Okay, bet. All right, so I know you know I fuck with the people who you fuck with rap, but are you hip to any of the new generation, like the new kids, or you just still Pusha T and shit?
Man, if you ask me about new rappers and new music that's out, I probably couldn't hold a 5-minute conversation with you because I'd be like, I don't really know, I ain't heard of him. Because the thing is, what introduced me to new stuff before was the radio, and then I stopped listening to the radio a long time ago. So what I started to kind of get in the habit of doing was downloading a big load of certain people. So I know when certain people's stuff come out, but they ain't new because I've stuck with the people that I did from when I did that. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you a new person that I listen to, like, you probably hot at that time. Like, I like Kodak, I like the Baby, but like these are young people to me. You know what I'm saying? But I know there are far newer people in the game than that. But I don't know nobody newer than that.
Okay.
You know
all right. Cool. I mean, you at least threw some out there that's still relevant.
Yeah,
you feel me? And that's hot on fire. That's all I wanted. So, we do this for the Queen Hive. We do this for the ladies. So, what do you fuck with in women? Like what do you go for? What you like?
I gotta like, honestly, I understand that every woman is gonna have flaws, and I gotta like her flaws. I gotta really understand. If I can understand what's wrong with a girl, that's really all I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Because like, obviously you gotta use your 5 senses. All right. I'm gonna see you before I hear you, before I feel you, taste you, or touch you. Right. Okay, you got 5 senses, so I'm gonna see you first. So obviously my eyes are gonna kick in. So I'm gonna be like, if I even talk to you, it's because of kind of what you look like.
Right.
Once I start hearing you, I have to, because that's the second thing that's gonna kick in, because I'm gonna hear what you're saying. So now this is how I digest your thoughts, and by digesting your thoughts, it's like, all right, at this point, do I want to move further? And through what she says determines if I want to move further or not. So it's not like there's no way I could have answered that question and said, oh, I like a fat ass. Like, bro, they fake. I can't tell the fake one from a real one these days, to be quite honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I used to be able to ask me like 5 years ago, I would have gave you a stern answer. Right. Okay. These days, with the advances of modern medicine and the vast amount of financial sponsorship some of these ladies are receiving, I can't tell. All right?
Real right.
So I tell you, I like them with big titties. Same thing. I can't tell no more. You know what I'm saying? I thought I could, and then I was like, oh my God. Like, I found out. I was like, and I was there. Like, I just, you mean, really? Like, oh man. So like, you fooled me. So I can't tell you nothing like that no more.
Facts. So you basically stick to the 5 senses. That I never heard that shit before.
I'm gonna stick to that.
Dope. That's dope. That's dope. The 5 senses.
That's what I. Hey.
So all right. So look, do you believe in aliens?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So my question to you is, if you got abducted, right?
No.
And let's say it was a badass alien bitch with a fat ass, would you hit the alien bitch?
I mean, yeah, because they might not be sending me back to Earth anyway.
Right.
First off, who's to say I'm going back to Earth? Like, they might have permanently kidnapped me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, who knows how much time has passed when I go back? Like, how I know life gonna be the same? Look, you gotta live for the moment. You know what I'm saying? Now, if she's there at the time, and you're like, dang, I ain't there for no reason.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely believe in aliens, bro. Like,
yeah,
if you saying, now we done figured out how to get to 2 different places in space.
right.
And we're like, humans are complete idiots. We argue over who looked the different hues of colors and all this other stuff. We ain't even got over racism.
Right.
We can't feed everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But yet there are some people rich enough to feed everybody, but everybody don't eat.
That part.
All right. So if humans, these same people that made it to Mars, oh yeah, it's there. If things live anywhere, they figured out how to hop from one rock to another.
That part. Real rap. So look, also, all right, you from Richmond.
All right.
What is Richmond to you?
I mean, that's home. Like,
Okay.
Richmond is gonna be home. Richmond looks nothing like Richmond today looks like nothing to Richmond that I would remember as a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But Richmond is always gonna be home, no matter how weird it is, no matter how much crime there is or isn't, no matter how many hippies there are or aren't here. Like, at the end of the day, like, Richmond's Richmond.
That part. Okay, all right, we're going to go into some current events. Now,
right.
I know you for sure used to rock with Nipsey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, R.I.P. Nip.
Definitely. R.I.P. Nip.
So, speak on Nipsey, like his legacy, some good things.
All right,
you're
so
hip.
I've been listening to Nipsey Hussle for years. When he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously before, like, what the final lap? What's this victory lap?
Yeah.
Dang, it's terrible. Like, this is why you probably, I probably shouldn't get in this state before we start. But either way, victory lap. Like, I was listening to him way before then. Like, I think the first thing I heard from him was Mailbox Money, and I was addicted because I was like, I have to like your content. I hate when people tell me. I ask them, why do you listen to this song? I like the instrumental, but you don't like the words. Like, if you don't agree with the words, like, well, why don't you listen to instrumentals?
Right.
Like, you know how much other music there is? Like, you might really get down with some contemporary, jazz or something like that. Like, just music with no words at all. If you're gonna listen to music and bounce from the words, because people, I personally think you like the words. I think you like the lyrics, and then I go from there. Mm-hmm. So everybody I listen to, I gotta agree with your lyrics.
That part.
From some point, like, I'm not saying, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Like, I might listen to 3-6. It don't mean I'm going to go rob a bank. I'm not gonna put a ski mask on to kick your door in.
Well, being you brought up 3-6, I was gonna ask you about Juice WRLD, but I know you're not hip to who that is.
No, I mean, I know who he. I know. See, he's an artist I know from his death. Like, I listened to Mac Miller before he died. I listened to Nipsey before he died. I did not listen to Juice WRLD before he died. I didn't listen to it after either, to be totally honest. But I now know who he is because of his death. Like, I didn't know who he. Like, I heard of him once or twice. Like,
okay, well, due to the opioid epidemic, did you ever go through an experience at all?
Not, I don't think with opioids, like,
or any other type of drug.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's called college. Like,
okay. And
I mean, at the end of the day, like, that's when I was like trying to find out what fun was. You know what I'm saying? You go through. Everybody likes to have fun, but I mean, what is it? How do you know you're not missing out on something? You know what I'm saying? And at that age, that's kind of how I felt. I want to know that I'm having the most fun, and if you're having more fun than me, how are you doing it? Now, I'm not always going to tell you, yes, I'm willing to experience what that feels like, because, like, somebody could tell you, oh, yeah, heroin's super fun. Well, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to believe you on that.
Right.
That's something I'm going to have to believe you on. But you got to draw, like, at some place you draw the line. So, like, I don't think opioids specifically. I probably, so I tried, like, weird pills, like drugs in pill form, in college. Like, that was probably it. Like, and by the time I left college, I was no longer into any of that. Like, at that point, I had made a choice that tree was the only thing I was cool with.
Okay,
period.
all right, and I like that. My thing is, I hate how they keep trying to blame hip hop for this shit, and it's like, bro, niggas been on dope forever, bro. How you gonna blame hip hop for this shit?
All right, so what I got from hip hop is no longer in hip hop, which is why I don't listen to the young generation anymore. Anyway,
Right.
what I got from hip hop when I was younger was hustle by any means, and even if you have to sell these things, then do it. However, then the law changed and they started to prosecute for lyrics. So what people then started to do mainstream was rap about doing the drug. So it's like, did we hypnotize ourselves or did the law do it? Like, but I know you can't monetize it unless you're willing to hypnotize your own people, because what they was pushing was build a business by any means. They don't have nothing but crack in the hood, build a business off crack. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, if I promote 3 types of wellness and financial wellness is one of them, and the only thing around you have to build a business on is something, well, I guess that's what you're gonna have to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to, I guess, survive in whatever environment you're in.
That part.
So that's why I could still listen to the music, but they wasn't saying, I'm gonna go home and smoke this crack. I'm gonna go home. Like, bruh, Lil Wayne made Lean cool after he kept saying this is all I can run on, but at the end of the day, Lil Wayne had been a celebrity, an understood celebrity for at least 13 years before he even start rapping about that junk, like this is all I do. It was like, this is what I do so I can like keep going, keep my battery going. Okay, cool. Somebody who's been a solid celebrity for 14 years, maybe you need something to keep going. So I started as like, goodness gracious, like that's different. So like, why my rapper do it and why your rapper do it is a little different. You know what I'm saying? They're not different people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you want to categorize them as the same thing, I guess you could. But at the end of the day, I'm way more interested in somebody's motive than their action.
That part, okay. And we're gonna wrap it up soon, but I do want to ask you about Tekashi. Like, not the fact that he snitched and shit because it's over, but the fact that this nigga, he about to come home and he's gonna still probably be a superstar, but overseas type shit.
And this is what I like. Look, if we let George Zimmerman live, why would you go after Tekashi? Now, secondly, so yes, he's gonna come home. He's gonna live luxuriously. He's gonna keep making videos on yachts and hypnotizing the young generation, because the young generation only believes, they don't believe in the moral and why you're doing something. They just believe in the action. So at the end of the day, he's gonna come out, bounce around on Ferrari. Like, first of all, if that's what made him cool in the first place, that's why he's not gonna stop being cool. Like, first of all, that's the only thing he ever did was like bounce around on Ferrari. Hey, Rainbow. First of all, I don't know, maybe I'm telling my age or something on this jump. When I was that young, had he made those same videos, there's no way this kid's blowing up.
Facts.
There's no way this kid's blowing up while I'm listening to Dipset and 3-6 and G Unit. There's no way this kid is like, what?
Yeah, he wouldn't have made it that far, bro.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, as a matter of fact, the only Soulja Boy was like the hottest thing, like, to young people, like, at my time, and at the end of the day, I mean, he made catchy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, Soulja Boy is one of the top 5 producers ever, dog. Yeah, like, first of all, like, you can.
I fuck with that you said that, like,
because the thing is, he business wise, he tries to do business things, but as age per hit ratio, he's crazy. Age per, you know what I'm saying? You have to think about what he accomplished. And you think about how old he was when he accomplished it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like his life timeline, like that little bar is a lot, like that rise to run ratio is a lot steeper for him than it does for other people as far as accomplishment wise is concerned, especially when it comes to production.
Right.
So yes, that's why he's up there for me.
Okay, bet. Well, look, man, we're gonna wrap this up. You already know, bro. It was a pleasure.
Yo, likewise.
Like, hey, tell them again what you do and basically where to link you at.
All right. Again, what I do. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah,
What I do, I'm gonna help you monetize yourself online. Graytermarketing.com is where you can go to find me on Facebook. That's Grayter. Oh, Marcus Grayter. At Marcus Grayter. Yeah, that's how you do it. Just start using Facebook again. after like 8 or 9 years, because when I was on Facebook, you know, you had to have a .edu to even register. I saw my aunt on Facebook like in 2010. I cut Facebook completely off, so I'm just learning how to use that joint again. That's at Marcus Grayter, Grayter. Yeah, and you can find me there.
I bet. Well, look, man, it was a pleasure. The
Cool.
Stay Black interview.
Hey,
Stay Black, Queen Hive,
Do
we
it.
here. Scam guy. Swipe.